Oh no, some scary clown squirted water all over my comics.
Never fear, son! In Colorado, there is one place to go for all your comic needs. Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Oh boy, thanks Coins, Cards, Comics, man. Oh no, there's a lady hanging off that building. Can you save her?
I can't save her, but you can also save 20% by getting a hold slot at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Oh no, she's falling.
Did you know prices are also falling on back issues at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics?
Thanks for saving me, Coins, Cards, Comics guy. Now I can buy my son the card games he wants and the sports memorabilia my husband wants.
That's correct, ma'am. Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics knocks it out of the park. So visit 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Arvada, Colorado. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And tell them the Real Nerd sent you.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smokin' Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Real Nerds. I am Ryan. To my right is...
James.
Hey, James. How's it going?
Pretty good. We're going, like, old school style this week.
We are.
So if it sounds like crap, it's not our fault.
Yeah, it's because Brad's not here because he's off making a movie. It's a porn.
It's what... He's not in it, though.
It's called The Casting Couch. It's about a young girl trying to make it in the movie business, and the only way she can get in the movie business is by fucking the director.
I want to make it entirely clear that I have never seen this movie and have no intentions of watching it. I just want that.
I don't know why, James. I'm
trying to be careful about what I put out on the internet. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, I'm not. I don't care what's on the internet about me. Usually
but the point is, Brad took all of our good equipment with him, so now we sound like shit.
Yeah. So thanks, Brad.
What a dick.
Totally, I can't believe it.
Man, one more episode where you're going to be able to hear the cat running around in the background.
Yeah, will be a special appearance by Mia the cat.
Yeah, but for once, when Laura chimes in, and she should, you'll actually be able to hear her.
Yeah, because
like usual,
we got these mics that aren't directional. It's hey, we pick up everything.
Yeah.
Anyways, usually right now we dive into some fan mail. We got a lot of fan mail this week. It was pertaining to our Sully episode and some of the stuff we wrote about him. So I won't really get into it, but I want to thank everybody for sharing nice words with us.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
It was nice, but I will share that I got the bracelets in for Sully's fundraiser we're going to do.
They are pretty friggin' cool.
They are. They're really cool. So pay attention to our Facebook and Twitter, and I will tweet out as soon as I figure out the logistics of where you can donate money to his family.
Yeah. You have to forgive us a little. We're not used to doing this kind of stuff, and we weren't totally prepared. So it's taken us a little while to get everything straightened out, but
well,
it'll
it took
happen.
like 2 weeks for the bracelets to come in.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, but I have 200 of them, so let's make sure that we get some money for his family.
Yeah.
So since no fan mail this week, thank you to everybody who sent us something that's really nice. We appreciate it. I kind of want to keep those ones private. Sorry. Anybody?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We were supposed to get one from a guy I know named Dan who was going to call in with a good question, but he didn't. So I'll just keep encouraging him, and maybe next week.
Yeah, Dan, call in with something, and we'll address it. So now we'll just get into some box office numbers.
This is the box office stats.
Surprise, James. The Dark
Ice Age
Knight
won again?
It did. It did.
Oh, man, that movie is a real train. You know?
It is. You can't stop it. You want to stop it, but you can't.
Yeah.
You don't have Spider-Man swinging webs against buildings to stop it.
You want to just throw yourself against those rails and let it roll right over you.
Absolutely. So no, Dark Knight Rises won again with $62 million. Not really surprising. I'm actually surprised how much it fell.
Yeah.
I thought it'd hold up a little better. But
well, I think part of why Dark Knight stayed on top so long was just because it surprised some people, and this one is not going to surprise people as much.
And I think Heath Ledger's performance is so captivating that
it made it worth
you kind of
going
want to see
back.
it more than once. The movie we saw, The Watch, did only $13 million.
Oh, I forgot that was even last week. Man.
I know, right? So that one is not going to do very well. I think it was budgeted like $90 million or something. So tough one. Maybe Ben Stiller should go back to doing Zoolander. I don't know.
Well, he's been trying so hard for so long to do that.
So thank you, Box Office Mojo, for supplying us with the box office numbers. Yahoo! So now it's time for DVD releases and Blu-rays.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Nothing's coming out. The Lorax is coming out, is really the biggest one. Grosse Point Blank and High Fidelity comes out. I like both those movies.
Yeah.
I won't buy them on Blu-ray, but...
I would probably buy a Blu-ray of High Fidelity. That is one of my favorite romantic comedies.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I learned something new about James today.
That movie... It's because that movie has a fourth act. You know, most movies, like a guy like that, he has his little adventure and he learns his lesson. But that movie has that tacked on little bit where he gets tested again and proves that he learned that lesson about, like, getting back together with his girlfriend and that cotton underwear are actually attractive. That movie's great.
No, I do love some of the moments in it. I love when he broke up with his girlfriend and he's walking in and he says, "Is that fucking Peter Gabriel?" And I love it. And when Jack Black goes off about why Evil Dead 2 is the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah.
It's classic. Because then he goes into this whole spiel about how John Cusack's character looks and is dressed. And he says, "And I'll tell you one more thing, man. That's a fucking Cosby sweater. A Cosby sweater!" And that was before Jack Black really blew up. So.
Oh, and Tim Robbins is so good in that movie. The point is, you should, if you've
Yeah.
never seen High Fidelity, man, run, don't walk.
Please do. So, hey, thank you. Where do we go? DigitalBits.com for all your DVD release art, and you can click on it and go straight to this to Amazon and order from them, and you'll support Digital Bits by doing that. And remember, Amazon has great prices. I don't know why you even order from anywhere else.
I don't understand.
I don't pay taxes at Amazon. That's why I do it.
Sorry, I'm still looking through.
I know what you're trying to see. I don't know why you don't believe me.
Oh, there's a Blu-ray release of Clue. No, I was really hoping there'd be a shark movie in here somewhere. You know, like Mega Shark versus Sand Sharks. That'd be cool. Though it is Shark Week.
It is Shark Week.
This is definitely when they should release them.
But there isn't. I don't know why you keep on looking. I don't know why he doesn't believe me.
Oh, the hope springs eternal. Oh, there's some Girls Gone Wild. All right,
Nice.
well, I guess that's when I give up.
So, James, let's unspool some real news.
It's real news!
This is my favorite part.
I know, because it's like your part. It's the thing you do and you bring to the table so much.
This is the part where I get everybody bored and they stop listening. Hey, guess what? Do you like How I Met Your Mother?
I love How I Met Your Mother.
Do you know how much music there is in How I Met Your Mother?
Tons of music.
Well, apparently there's enough for a CD. They're putting out a soundtrack.
Could I be more excited?
Yes, but you are very, very excited.
I am excited for that. Because, you know, I love the Nothing Suits Me Like a Suit. I actually downloaded that from iTunes. I also like when Ted goes shows Barney on a first date or a romantic date, and they, you know, sit in the booth, and the booth dissolves away, and that's a brilliant part too. And I'm sure there'll be some Robin Sparkles on it. Would be my guess.
Yeah, all the Robin Sparkle stuff is going to be on there. There's going to be a full-length produced version of the Bang Bang a Bangity Bang song,
Nice.
which is pretty exciting. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. It's weird because I haven't looked forward to a soundtrack in a while, so it's weird to even be talking about this, but I think it's pretty cool.
And my wife loves those kind of TV shows where there's laugh tracks in them.
Yeah.
She can't get enough of them.
What's funny is this is the week where you can actually defend yourself and say, "Oh no, I don't. Those things are pieces of crap," and yet silence. Ryan, have you ever read? We've talked about this before on the podcast. I think back when this first got rumored, but I can't remember what you said. Have you ever read The Days of Future Past?
I have.
Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with my biggest pet peeve with X-Men is it's so convoluted and there's so many different timelines that it's hard to follow. This is like kind of one of the first ones that did it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it deals with Weapon X, Wolverine, and
Yeah.
Kitty Pryde. So
Basically, this week, Bryan Singer confirmed that the sequel to X-Men First Class is going to be an interpretation of the Days of Future Past.
I
That's
think
probably even going to be the subtitle.
I do think it'd be cool if the X-Men were hunted down by the Sentinels. I think that'd be really sweet.
Yeah, if they can get some of that stuff in there, that would be neat. But you hit the nail on the head as far as what concerns me about this. Like, as soon as you start taking this into alternate universes and like traveling through time and stuff, I kind of don't understand why you're not just telling it in the present.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, well, they've set this up as something that takes place in the past from the series that we've already seen. So it's got to be a sequel to the prequel. So if we want to get it's just
I think
it sounds like too much.
and it sounds like they're kind of just going because everyone loves that X-Men story.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that
So
too.
I mean, if they get Hugh Jackman to be Wolverine in it, and he's protecting Kitty Pryde after all the other X-Men are killed,
Yeah,
I think that'd actually be pretty sweet. But we'll see.
and it's something that like they've been working on it for a while. It's not like they're rushing it, so I should have faith. And X-Men First Class was really good. So
Yeah, I was worried because I thought First Class was going to be terrible.
oh really? I didn't.
Yeah, and
oh,
then
man.
I watched it, and it's my favorite X-Men movie actually.
that
So,
was one of our first reviews.
it is
Yeah.
that and Super 8.
Yeah. So I'm. It's almost like non-news because we kind
Yeah.
of knew this was going to happen, but
That's what
I'm
I've
just
noticed
still very
with
tepid.
a lot of Marvel is they're kind of gravitating towards really popular storylines.
Yeah,
I mean, Captain America 2 is the Winter Soldier, which is an amazing storyline.
yeah,
Which you can actually, I'm surprised I didn't catch the setup from the end of Captain America, the first one, and then even Thor with the Dark World. I mean, they're kind of taking well-known comic stories
yeah.
and villains, and
Which makes total sense. I was listening to Fat Man on Batman this week for the 1st
Mhm.
time, and I was listening to that Mark Hamill episode that he did, which was awesome, by the
Dude,
way.
I love Mark
and
Hamill.
they kept talking about like how frustrating it was, especially when Kevin Smith was getting hired to do Superman. He was like, why don't you guys just go get the guys who write great stories about these characters in the first
Mhm.
place? And Marvel is the one that's finally doing that.
Yep.
Where they're going and getting, and now DC is too, but just the fact that Hollywood in general is going to comic book writers and being like, hey, you guys actually understand these characters and have written them for so long that some of the stories that you've written are really good and could be good movies. Like, why don't we just adapt that?
And that's
Which
one
makes
of my-
so much more sense than just like, here, we're going to make this movie where a guy has a cape.
Yeah,
Um,
that's my biggest misunderstanding, I think, of people in comic books in general, is they always think they're so just, juvenile and things like that. But I think if people actually read them, they'd understand the complexity of the characters and the real cool conflicts they're in.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually leads perfectly into the fact that Marvel has been in talks. Marvel is owned by Disney. ABC is owned by Disney. It was not a long time before somebody started saying, hey, how about we make a Marvel TV show? And basically what they're talking about is they're thinking about making a show that would sort of be along the lines of the comic book series Marvels, which really follows like the people on the ground, the people living in New York when New York has a bunch of superheroes in it. And so some of the superheroes would make cameos and things like that. Probably not the big name actors. Maybe they get RDJ for the pilot or something like that just to get people to watch. But for the most part, it would just be about like news reporters or things like that. There's very little detail on what it is so far. But
Well, I will say that lately the best spin-off books from Marvel events have been, for Civil War, is called Frontline, which is a bunch of reporters who were reporting on the superheroes fighting,
oh yeah,
which I thought was, and it was really good. And the Marvels is the same thing. It's a reporter who follows a story of certain superheroes. So yeah, it could
and that
work.
could be cool. And if you get the CG in there so that you can just like see superheroes at a distance and their actual like character arcs aren't related to the show, that could be really cool.
Well, and I lent you that. For your birthday, I got you the Pulse, which is about a reporter following the Green Goblin and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and a murder
that's
mystery.
really good, man.
So I think it could work.
Yeah, it sounds more interesting to me than most of the shows that they do in the fall. We're starting to
Dude,
see all the trailers.
Yeah,
for
what
the
is
new-
that one where they're in a submarine?
Oh gosh,
What's the
yeah.
name of
What
that?
was that today? I had not seen that trailer before, and it looks atrocious.
It's terrible. I mean, eventually they're gonna have to get out of the submarine, right?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
I forget the name of it. It's Scott
Pre-Lost.
Speedman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why is Scott Speedman in that?
What has Scott Speedman done since Underworld, though? I don't even know anything he's in.
None of the Underworld sequels. I'll tell you that. Well, no, I guess
he's in the second one. And then in the fourth one is weird. They had him at the beginning from previous movies, and then they had a stand-in.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, no, and like the trailer for Revolution, which is coming out, the new J.J. Abrams show, it looks okay, but it rings very much like a Terra Nova or what was that other one that they did last year that was like, yeah, okay, you're doing like a post-apocalyptic thing, but it's not working.
I don't know. I don't watch TV very much anymore.
That's okay.
Network TV, I should say.
You watch ESPN constantly.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm talking about like shows on TV.
Yeah, like
if they don't have Gordon Ramsay in them, Ryan's not interested.
Anything that comes out on network television, I could care less about at this point.
Except How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, no, that's true. But that it feels like a remnant. Like I don't think that network television has produced anything in the last maybe 4 years that I really care about.
I agree.
Terriers was USA or FX, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't even think of what I watch on network television that's any good.
Agreed.
Anyway, back to movies. This week there's some rumblings now that Ridley Scott really wants to move forward with Prometheus 2. The studios think that it made enough money that they're gonna go ahead and do it. But Damon Lindelof, especially since we talked about a couple weeks ago, he's signed on for a TV show, may not be available to do the script on this one, and so they may move forward without him, which some people I'm sure are ecstatic about because people would love to get Damon Lindelof off of every project that he's on, but I'm a little disheartened by it. I'm kind of hoping that he'll be involved, maybe just as a producer, even if he doesn't write the script himself. But still, the fact that we're getting a sequel to that movie is cool to me.
Yeah, they should make a sequel because I think you're right. You know, when you hit it on the head when we did the review, how cool would it be to have a girl and her robot friend go fight aliens?
Absolutely.
I think that sounds badass.
Like, don't even like. I think it would be a mistake if they tried to follow the Xenomorph in the sequel. Like, just go into space and, like, maybe you run into some other kind of space monster. Like, just have a space adventure movie. That sounds great and exciting and fresh.
Well, she's tracking down those godlike guys.
Yeah.
So
and they're going to still have black goo, and they're still, or they're going to have some planet where they got spiky dog creatures that chase you down corridors. I don't care. I just want girl and her robot go through space. That sounds awesome. And it's something that I've never seen before.
You should write the comic book Girl and Her Robot.
Girl and Her Robot. This week, this is the biggest piece of like legitimate journalism that we have. So the guy who's the CEO of Time Warner, his name is Jeff Books. Jeff. In an interview with his shareholders at Time Warner, said this week that basically people who are cutting the cord, people who are trying to go without cable, don't exist. He straight up said that that's not even a thing. It's not a trend, that no one is doing. Brian, do you know anybody who has actually cut the cable, who doesn't have cable anymore?
No.
I do.
You do?
I know a handful of people, and I know people who are desperate to do it. In fact, like if I moved out of my parents' house right now, as much as I made fun of my brother for doing it years ago, I wouldn't have cable. I would find ways around it. Even the shows that I really, really love, I could wait. It's not worth paying for. The whole conversation here came out of him saying that at no point is HBO going to be interested in releasing a version of HBO Go that doesn't require you to have a membership in HBO through your cable subscription. Because if they did that, then everybody like me who really wants to watch The Newsroom would just pay for that. Instead of, I don't know, stealing it, which HBO doesn't even really care about because they think that people stealing their shows is such a small margin that they're not actually losing any money. But it's so... It feels like anti-progress. It feels like these people, rather than fighting the fact that the internet is going to change their business styles and that they need to figure out, like, okay, what is it that consumers actually want and how can we shape our service to match that in a way where we make lots of money, they're just fighting it constantly. If they were to do a thing where it was like, okay, you can actually pick and choose the channels you want, and even if it was like, okay, it's only going to save me $20, and that is disproportionate. Like, I'm paying more per channel than I would be if I got the whole bulk thing. I would probably still do that. Like in that case, you're still making me subscribe to your cable subscription, which I'm not gonna do. It feels ignorant and old manish.
Yeah, I agree. There has to be a time when it just. I know you don't like Hulu, but now Hulu gives you the opportunity to watch 3 minutes of commercials and then watch your shows uninterrupted.
Oh yeah. And I do like that.
And I mean, I don't know why they just don't start doing that on regular TV, that you can on demand it.
And I've been thinking lately, I need to, I torrent a lot of stuff. I'm just, and I've been thinking lately, I need to make a point to try and not for a while. Like, see how successful I could be at not. For one thing, on a Thursday night, I go home and I tell my computer to download Louie and to download Wilfred, but I don't watch it till the next day, which means if that stuff's on Netflix or it's on Hulu or if it's on Amazon Prime the next day, I could just watch it there, and if it's cheap, then I might as well do it there. Amazon's not making any money off of this. This is the point where I don't know why Amazon doesn't do something like, and probably it's because they don't have the rights to, but they ought to do something like say, okay, if you pre-order the Blu-ray for this TV show, we'll just give you rentals of this show, and maybe you pay full price. Maybe you pay the $60 for the whole season, which is crazy, but you get the rentals of that. That to me makes so much more sense, and you probably would be making money hand over fist rather than doing this shit the way they're doing it now. Anyway, and it just seems stupid for him to go out and to his investors and be like, there's absolutely no one in the world who's cutting cable, because I know for a fact that's not true. I know for a fact it's not true.
Well, that's just like saying there's no one in the world who doesn't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well, and I think too, a lot of people I know who do not have cable is because they were broke college kids without cable and they just learned to live without it.
Yeah.
And then you figure out ways around it, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess that guy does not know a lot of broke people.
Yeah, that's true. The CEO of Time Warner doesn't know a lot of broke college students who aren't paying for cable. You're right. But those people are the young people who, when they move out on their own, they're going to still not necessarily need cable, or they're going to find ways to get around it. The current generation of people who are becoming consumers are tech-savvy people who understand that, I don't really need the Science Channel because my Roku box gets TED Talks for free, and that is just as entertaining as the Science Channel and probably more educational. It's that kind of stuff where it's like, why don't you just adapt to this rather than fight it? But anyway, it's a conversation we're going to have for years to come, begrudgingly.
Yep.
Also, there's some rich dude trying to build Jurassic Park. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, I saw that article. Is he harvesting dino DNA from mosquitoes? Because that'd be awesome.
No, I don't even know how they're getting the dino DNA. And he flat out denies it, but it's like, the story was there was some insider who says, like, yeah, no, this guy's got a lot of money and he's throwing it around in stupid places and is talking to the people who cloned Dolly years ago and trying to figure out, how could you clone a dinosaur? I don't care. I'm rooting for this guy. I think it's a great idea.
That'd be awesome. When I was a kid, I loved Mr. DNA on Jurassic Park.
I still love it. What an amazing way to do exposition in a movie and be
Exactly.
so straightforward about it. It's brilliant.
Have you spoken to a geneticist? Does he know how that works? 'Cause
No.
No.
I took that class and I could tell you that it probably isn't that simple.
Oh, yeah. No, the
Laura,
article does
it's
say...
that simple because I want to see a T-Rex.
Yeah. The article did say something like, well, scientists are telling him that they would need like 100,000 dinosaur cells in order to successfully clone one of those dinosaurs, and there probably aren't 100,000 dinosaur cells left anywhere, except for inside of the mosquitoes. I don't think they've thought of that
And
yet.
Amber, have they checked John Hammond's cane?
I have
That's
some-
all I'm asking.
I have some amber at my house. They could have some of that. There's little flecks in it. That might be DNA. I don't know.
That hasn't decayed over millions and millions of years.
No. I'm sure it's still
Just
perfectly good.
viable, even though it's proteins held together with hydrogen bonds.
Laura, let us have a dream.
I just need to see dinosaurs in my lifetime. That's all I'm saying. Oh, man. Anyway, that's the news.
Awesome. Great news, James. Appreciate it.
Oh, actually, there is something I forgot.
Oh, is it sad news? You went the whole week without doing
No,
sad news.
no, I'm not doing any more sad news. There's by the time you hear this, there's going to be about 4 more days left in the Kickstarter for Zach Howard's Wild Blue Yonder. They need like another $1,000 or so. So just give them $5. Go ahead and it's like pre-ordering your first issue of that book. It's going to be great. Give them $5. Make that book happen. It's going to be cool. I'm sure they're going to make it because they've already raised $11,000. One more, man. It's not that much.
You know, it's a great segue.
What?
To the Comic Corner we go.
That one.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
You know what, James? In days like this where we both don't have a comic book,
I just forgot.
I'm gonna dig into my back issues.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna tell people to pick up, shockingly, a Spider-Man story.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna tell them to pick up one that maybe got forgotten about in the early 90s when the huge comic book boom came about, which it shouldn't be. It's the Spectacular Spider-Man number 200. Why this one is so special to me is it's the death of the second Green Goblin, which is Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
And to me, this...
You can't spoil a book that's that old.
Yeah, it's 20
And it
years
happened
old.
in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, but not... Spider-Man 3 didn't do it justice. Anyways,
Ooh.
so... everybody knows that Harry Osborn became the Green Goblin after he saw his father die in a battle with Spider-Man. What is really explored in this, and what J.M. DeMatteis does really well, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. If not, I'm sorry, J.M.
I think it is, yeah.
So, anyways, they kind of... Harry Osborn's always been on the verge of insanity because he experimented with drugs, and he always wanted to win his father's approval. Even after his father was dead, he always tried to live up to his father's expectations of being Spider-Man's ultimate villain. And he developed a goblin formula that was better than his father's and made him stronger than Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
So the whole story is about how he's stalking and provoking Peter Parker, but not wanting to fight him. And it's a big psychological warfare thing. If you don't know about J.M. DeMatteis, is he also wrote Kraven's Last Hunt and a couple other ones like that. So he has a really big... and The Child Within, which is one of my favorite stories too. Psychologically, he loves playing with those kind of characters. So it keeps on building, and he even kidnaps Mary Jane at one point, and he tells her, well, no matter what happens between the Green Goblin and Spider-Man, I'll never hurt you. Basically telling her that he would never do to her what his father did to Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
And so it builds to a huge battle with him and Spider-Man and Green Goblin at the Osborn Foundation, a building that he built in his father's name to give money to underprivileged children. And they were having a party there, and he didn't know that Mary Jane and his little boy fell asleep in the party, like in a different room. And so him and Spider-Man are fighting, and he pokes Spider-Man with a poison dart, and Spider-Man can't stand anymore. And he's going to blow up this townhome with him and Spider-Man in it, because the only way that either one of them will have any peace if they're both dead is Harry Osborn's reasoning behind it. And then he hears his son downstairs, and Spider-Man can't move. He's paralyzed, and he says, Harry, you're the one who has to save them, because I can't do it. I'm worthless to you. So he jumps on his goblin glider and grabs him and goes and takes him outside and puts him down. And Mary Jane looks at him crying. She's like, what about Peter? You're just going to leave Peter in there. And then there's some great art by my favorite Spider-Man artist, Sal Buscema. No dialogue. It's a faraway shot of the townhome. Then it's closer and closer, and the goblin busts through carrying Spider-Man out. And he puts him down, and Spider-Man's still woozy, and he says, Peter, I did it just like you. I'm the hero today. And then he collapses because the Green Goblin formula that he made, his heart couldn't take it, so his heart gave out. And so he dies. And then there's no dialogue for the last 3 pages, just wonderful art of Spider-Man holding Harry Osborn's hand. And when he dies, Spider-Man puts his head down, and then it goes to these little snapshots of when they were kids as best friends. Dude, it's brilliant.
Aww.
It's a great story, so you should pick up Spectacular Spider-Man 200. The good news is that was a time when they printed millions of copies of those issues.
Oh, yeah.
So you can pick that up at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for $3. And it's one of the most brilliant Spider-Man stories. And,
man.
You should pick it up. Spectacular Spider-Man 200.
Well, while we're talking about comics, I want to derail this for a second. Have you been reading any before Watchmen?
I haven't read it yet, but I picked up both issues of the Minutemen.
Oh, okay. because I finally got around to, like, they're okay. They're kind of hit and miss. And it's one of those things where it's like, I understand the people who hate it because they don't want anybody to touch Watchmen, but they're not touching Watchmen. They're just taking those characters that we love and telling some fun stories with them. And if you look at it that way, I think they can be enjoyed. They're just not going to be masterpieces like Watchmen. But anyway, I finally read the Night Owl one, which it's written by J. Michael Straczynski. And at first it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking it. But then at the end, this thing happens. Rorschach shows up, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, I'm going to get some Rorschach. JMS does not have any clue how to write Rorschach dialogue. It's awful. It's every time that Rorschach says anything, I'm like, no. And he throws Herms in the wrong places, way overused. Oh, it's so bad.
Have I told you my distaste for JMS?
I don't really like him.
He wrote Spider-Man for, I'm going to say 9 years?
Mhm.
Maybe not that long, maybe 5 years. And at the start, he introduced this character named Ezekiel. And Ezekiel had the same powers as Spider-Man. And he said, you weren't bitten by accident, you were chosen because of who you are to be a spider-like powers. Interesting. I'm like, oh, it's kind of interesting. Maybe, they're taking a different way, a different Spider-Man mythos. It's cool.
Yeah.
He also introduced a villain, Morlun, who was really powerful and ended up killing Peter Parker. I hated that part. But the one part that I'll never, ever forgive him for, and I have no idea, they retconned all of Spider-Man for the past 20 years because they didn't want him to be married.
Yeah.
But one story they decided not to do that for is he had Norman Osborn have an affair with Gwen Stacy. To me, that was the biggest character assassination of any character in Spider-Man mythos. And I was really hoping, beyond everything, that story was going to go away after they totally rebooted Spider-Man. Because you didn't hear anything about it for the longest time, the first 4 years. And then they did this American Son miniseries. Oh, there shows up Gwen Stacy and Norman Osborn's kids. I'm like, really? Of all the things you do, you bring back Harry Osborn for no reason.
Yeah.
But you're going to leave that terrible story.
Ugh.
So I'm still crossing my fingers that Dan Slott has something up his sleeve for Amazing Spider-Man 700. That's my new goal, is they're going to get rid of that stupid storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been crazy about him, but... And I'll probably still read the next Night Owl, but it's not as good as the Silk Spectre book. It's Silk Spectre is a fun book.
That's what I
People
heard.
should check that one out. Yeah. Anyways,
That's it for comics. So now we'll go into stuff we've been watching.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
I didn't watch too much this week. I did watch Superbad again, and that movie's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know, I got like in a Jonah Hill thing because, we saw him in The Watch.
And which he stole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that movie is amazing. You forget how funny the kids are in it. And, yeah.
That's like that early Emma Stone movie.
Where she's it's her first movie, and she still has, like, charisma. And,
oh, yeah.
And then when you see her as Gwen Stacy.
Like, I remember walking out of that movie and, like, out of all of those people, being so impressed by her.
Yep.
Also, she's super cute, so it's hard not to be. But, yeah, man, that movie. I haven't seen it. I don't even own it. I should.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time. And just one day, I'm like, I feel like watching Superbad.
Yeah.
Because it's really funny. And I love the credits at the beginning where it's them dancing to...
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of looks like the 80s kind of credits.
Yeah. Oh, that movie is so weird.
That movie's badass. And then, I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's called Comic Book the Movie. And the reason
No, yeah. I haven't seen it, but I heard Mark Hamill talking about it.
it's because it's written and directed by Mark Hamill. And I'll have to let you borrow it. It's actually the Comic-Con movie before the real Comic-Con. Because it's shot in 2005, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill plays this history teacher. Is it a history teacher? I think it is a history teacher. And he's shooting a documentary about how he's now the consultant on this old comic book called Captain Commando. Captain... Fuck, I can't remember his name.
Some kind of Captain America amalgam.
Yeah, so it's basically Captain America,
Mhm.
but it got rebooted as Codename Commander or something like that. And so he's dark and violent, and he's trying really hard to get the old school vibe from it, but the movie studio wants to shoot it as hardcore and darker. And so it's him going around to San Diego Comic-Con, and in it is just a bunch of voice actors. Billy West is in it. Arlene Sorkin, who's Harley Quinn's in it.
Dude.
just a bunch of his friends, and there's some really funny bits. And I mean, it's not like the greatest movie, but it's still kind of fun. Stan Lee's in it, Bruce Campbell's in it, Hugh Hefner's in it, and it's him interviewing these people. It's kind of clever. And my favorite joke in it is actually that his cameraman is just this goofy guy, and he says, "Oh man, you should come check out my band. We're a cover band for Warrant Subpoena." I think it's funny. But yeah, you should check it out. It's just a kind of, and what really struck me interesting is, they get to the Comic-Con and they're talking about it, and the lady who's showing around says, "Yeah, we're expecting about 50 to 60,000 people this year." And you just realize how big it's gotten in 7 years.
Yeah.
Where it's 150, 125,000, whatever the cap is.
It's crazy now.
And so it's kind of interesting. And
it's funny because what year did you guys go? Was it 2008?
2008.
Oh, okay. So it's not that much longer before you guys went.
No. And so, I mean, like, me and Brad went, and we got tickets a month before. Literally got him and showed up. And
it's insane how much that thing is blown up.
It is. It's crazy. So it's kind of fun to go back and see it. And Mark Hamill really sells it. And if you've listened to his Fat Man on Batman, his 2 parts that he was on, is amazing.
Oh, man.
I didn't know he had so much passion for comics. Like, I thought he just did that comic book movie to be kind of silly, but I didn't know he had that much passion for comic books.
That thing is so amazing. And it's funny because even Kevin Smith makes a comment like, it's really impressive that he could interview somebody who actually makes Kevin Smith shut up for that long.
Yeah.
Like Mark Hamill just goes and tells these awesome stories. Man, that was so much fun.
So
totally got me hooked on that podcast.
It's really cool. So yeah, I should check it out. It's called Comic Book the Movie, a really small movie, and
cool.
It's just like a fake documentary, but also a documentary about Comic-Con. It's kind of fun. And Bruce Campbell's in it.
While we're on it, did you listen to this week's Fat Man on Batman?
I haven't.
Because I listened to that one because he talks about, or I guess maybe it's last week's. It's wherever the one where they actually review Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, with Mosier?
Yeah.
I listened to that one.
Because I listened to it because they talk about the Aurora shooting at the beginning, and I just want to hear that part. But then, of course, the whole 3-hour review that they do between the 2 podcast episodes is basically just him telling Mosier every scene in the movie in sequence, which was both ridiculous and stupid and really entertaining.
Yeah, he did that too for when they did the Harry Potter one.
Oh, yeah.
Because
with the Harry Potter one, Scott Mosier is really almost because Mosier saw it too, and of course is a big fan of the book, so they're bouncing off each other. This one, it's really like listening to Kevin Smith tell me about that, tell me what happens to that movie.
Yeah.
It was just silly.
Like our nephew Parker when he sees a movie.
Yeah. Cool. So that's all I saw this week. I have been really busy, unfortunately. So
no, that's fine. Busy's good. First of all, I went and saw. First of all, the Olympics have started, and that, of course, is anytime that I'm home, I just turn the TV on and watch some Olympics, and it's entertaining. It's crazy how I'll they'll bring up hey, next we're gonna do men's beach volleyball, and they'll just show me the pictures of the guys who are men's beach volleyball, and I totally remember those guys from 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I remember rooting for those guys, and they're not even like the Michael Phelps people that have gotten famous. They're just the guys I remember from that,
me too.
And I hardly watch real sports. You know what I mean? But
there's still, you have the pride of watching America do well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's been really cool. And did you watch the opening ceremonies at all?
No.
This was maybe the coolest opening ceremonies I've ever seen. Honestly, it made me so interested in British stuff. It was, and it started off with them. They brought Kenneth Branagh out, and he read from The Tempest, which you just can't beat that for me. I even said, if you go back and listen to our review of My Week with Marilyn, I even said I would never give this movie a bad review just because it has a sequence where Kenneth Branagh reads from The Tempest, and so for them to do that at the ceremony was really cool. And there was 100-foot tall Voldemort, which was stupid, and no Doctor Who. There was one moment where they played the Doctor Who the TARDIS sound, but they didn't have Doctor Who show up, so that was a disappointment. But still,
what Doctor would they have show up? David Tennant,
Tom Baker. Tom Baker's still alive. I think they, how cool would it be? Rumor has it Tom Baker's going to be in this season of Doctor Who, which I am excited about.
Like I said, I saw one episode because Andrew Garfield was in it. I don't get it.
Yeah,
there's
I wouldn't
pigs
expect
that run around, and
you saw a bad first episode. I could show you some episodes of that where you're like, oh, okay, this is fun. It's just wacky, old style sci-fi.
I like David Tennant.
He's good. He's really good. And shoot, what's his name? Sylvester McAvoy. Anyway, there's one of the guys who played the Doctor is going to be in The Hobbit, and now I can't remember his name. I feel ashamed. This opening ceremony is really great. That's what I was getting at.
Well, you caught the last part of it, honey. Remember, I recorded it because I don't want to because the commercials were in it, and then I don't care about the countries walking through.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that, the super tall Voldemort. I think that was awesome.
You would.
I thought it, actually, I liked it better than because they still had some artsy crap with the people on the bicycles with the wings. I was like, whatever, that's dumb.
Yeah.
But I liked it because it actually made sense, and it was very British, and David Beckham was driving the boat the entire time, looking very dapper.
There was the whole thing of starting off with pastoral. Anyway, we're going on too long about this, but starting off with pastoral England and then building up the industrial age and stuff. That was really cool. They paused.
Cool
for
story.
World War
What'd you watch this week?
Anyway, okay, sorry. So I went and saw Amazing Spider-Man again.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that movie's still good.
Yep.
All I gotta say.
I did see The Dark Knight again. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That movie's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I rented Underworld Awakening, partially because I was getting strangely excited for Total Recall, and I was like, okay, I forgot that there was that Underworld movie that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I should go see that. Was disappointed to find out that it wasn't a Len Wiseman movie, though. How would he have even made 2 movies in a year? And that movie's a mess. I'm somebody who will defend and really likes that first Underworld movie, and the second one it's all right, but it's sort of convoluted and silly and overly gory. I never saw the third one, but
I have it.
This one, I was actually told, Mick and RJ, I was talking to him earlier, and Mick said he actually really likes the third one, but so maybe I will. But this one, you can tell that there are 4 different credited screenwriters on this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It just goes all over the place. I don't know why things are introduced. The action's not really that good. The CG is awful. Even Kate Beckinsale sort of just phones it in.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's not the best actress in the world, but when she needs to, she can be pretty dang good.
Well, yeah, when she's, I like when she's an action star.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I can't recommend anybody go see that movie. Even if you're somebody if you're like me, where you liked that first one and thought, man, they could really make this into a cool genre-y kind of Matrix movie with some cool action in it, this does not succeed. So that was a shame. But the big one for this week, I've been hunting it for weeks. I finally got a DVD copy of The Spanish Prisoner in, which is the last David Mamet movie that I wanted to watch before I did my big article about him. And I still think that movie is really good. It's maybe the twistiest movie that he's ever written. There are so many things because it's about this guy who is getting conned, and almost in fact Mick and RJ watched it, and Mick was saying he feels like it's those the twists are a little bit predictable, but I still think it's pretty entertaining. Campbell Scott is awful though. I forgot how bad Campbell Scott is. This is a movie where David Mamet always has these Boy Scout characters in his movies, almost more often than not, and in this case that's really important because the whole idea is that at the beginning he's invented this thing, and these guys are going to try and steal it from him, and he's a total Boy Scout, so he's overly trusting of these people, and that's what gets him in trouble. And then halfway through the movie, he's got to learn to stop trusting people and get suspicious of things and figure this out so he can save himself from being, totally conned out of everything he's done and basically destroyed and probably sent to jail. But early in the movie, he comes off as a jerk because there are lines that Campbell Scott just totally drops. And then later in the movie, he just seems sort of aloof rather than having really figured it out. But the script, I think, is fantastic. There are simple lines, especially lines that Ricky Jay delivers, that are memorable lines. If you're a big Kevin Smith fan, you've heard him talk about this movie because he will repeat the line, "Worry is the interest paid in advance on a debt that never comes due," which is if Shakespeare had said that, we would be carving it into little wood plaques and hanging it over our doors. It's a brilliant line that will probably last longer than David Mamet's life. It's a cool movie. If you can find a way to get a hold of it, I definitely suggest checking it out. I'll rent it around.
You let me borrow it?
I'll lend it around. It's pretty good. And speaking of J. Michael Straczynski, I forgot to say this. He's one of the credited writers on Underworld Awakening.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is. It's a mess.
Mm-hmm. He probably brought in the part of the child, and that it was fucking him. Pisses me off. And yeah, how weird was it that Scott Speedman stand-in? Like, you could totally tell.
Oh,
it
yeah,
wasn't
that's right.
him.
I forgot to talk about that.
Like,
Yeah, well, no, it was like
weird.
they just sort of CG'd Scott Speedman's face over him in the ice.
Yeah.
Because they did the same effect earlier when she was in the ice, where
Mhm.
like you could tell it was just like sort of her face hovering inside the ice. It was not really her naked inside the ice,
which
it wasn't even ice. It was like glass, and she was frozen as I don't know. That made no sense.
Yep.
Ugh.
Anywho.
And why did her daughter have a British accent?
I don't know.
Having a British accent is not genetic. Just gonna throw that out there.
Because that actress is also on Secret Life of Megan Taylor.
Okay, we're done talking to
her. Terrible. Like, she's not bad in that movie, but if you watch her in that show, like, fucking god awful. So my guess is, like, you know what? You sound really stupid when you talk. You talk with a British accent, maybe you'll sound smart.
Class it up with a British accent.
Yep.
That movie is garbage. But The Spanish Prisoner is pretty dang good. So
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and man, I like me some David Mamet. So
You
go read my article about my favorite David Mamet.
When are you going to
movies.
publish that article?
It's already up on the site.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Trailers and everything.
Yeah.
And this cool picture that I threw together where I made transparent. Anyway.
Wow, you went all out. I'll have to check that out.
I did.
So hey, I should check out James's David Mamet article. Good for you.
Thank you.
Hopefully it'll be as popular as my Robert Downey Jr. one.
It won't be because nobody gives a shit about David Mamet. But I tagged it with a bunch of stuff like writing and the Lost Masterpieces of Pornography, which is a short film that he did for Funny or Die, which was really good with Kristen Bell and Ed O'Neill.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like an old black and white porn movie, and it's introduced by Ricky Jay as if he's doing his best Alfred Hitchcock, talking about like trying to preserve old pornography, and then Kristen Bell plays something like the slut of the Supreme Court.
Nice.
It's oh man, it's so funny.
You know how I love Kristen Bell.
I do.
What's up with Brad saying her eyes are goofy?
Dude, I don't know. He's crazy, man.
He's weird. Brad, you know what? Shut the fuck up. You're done talking on this podcast.
Stop it.
Can I do the new Brad, but he edits it still?
No. Yeah, but we'd have to get you a real mic.
Yeah.
So right, that's what we've been watching.
Yeah, this week. Brad's not here, so I don't know what Comic-Con interview he wants to do.
I don't know. He's just gonna throw one in.
Yeah, so enjoy whatever we're listening to. Or you know what, Brad? Don't edit it in. I don't care. Because I can't remember one.
How about that first one that we did with the girls?
Oh.
The one was dressed up like Lady Loki, and the other one was Black Widow. They were cool.
Yeah, we'll do the really cool girls that were dressed up as Lady Loki and Black Widow.
We have none of their information in front of us, so we don't remember them.
We're
Other
sorry.
than we remember how cool they were dressed up.
Yeah, and she followed us on Twitter, and she tweeted us. So, Brad, you should introduce them. I'll give you a job.
Yeah.
Sucker. Or don't. Whatever. We'll call them Lady Loki and Black Widow. Their costumes are very good.
They were really good. And their costumes the next day were really good, too.
Hi, ladies. My name is Ryan. We run the Real Nerds Podcast. We do a podcast every week about movies and comic books. And you two ladies are our first guests at the 2012 Denver Comic-Con. Now, you're Natasha, correct?
Yeah, Natasha Nichols. It's my cosplay alias.
Oh, okay, cool, sweet. So why don't you tell our listeners what you are dressed as?
Okay, I'm Black Widow today. It was kind of a last-minute closet cosplay, but
yeah, you pulled it off.
Thank you.
Very well. And next to her is Morgan.
Hey.
Morgan, what are you dressed as?
I am Lady Loki. Actually, we swapped our cosplays today. We'll be reversed tomorrow. Yep.
Really? That's fun though. You got to keep it interesting. So I mentioned Lady Loki, and a lot of people don't know that she is in the comic books
because
it is because Loki changes his shape depending
Loki.
on the. Go ahead, you talk, not me.
Oh God, yeah, I'm a huge Loki nerd. This is terrible. Loki's actually put into Sif's body, and so Loki is a woman for a little bit.
So did you enjoy Siege then?
Yes, I think both of us did.
You did? Awesome.
Yeah.
So did you read the one-shot Loki Siege? Because that was that's my favorite one-shot from the little spin-offs they had.
because it was very interesting. And I love Mephisto.
Yes, and it's been a bit hit and miss with the spin-offs, but that was one that was really good. I wish it was more than a one-shot.
I agree, because Loki and Mephisto together rocks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So what are you going as tomorrow then? You're going Loki, right?
And I'm going to be Black Widow.
So you're switching. Then are you doing something different on Sunday too?
Yes. I'm going to be the TARDIS.
Awesome.
And I'm going to be Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones.
Awesome. So we'll look forward to that. Thank you for stopping by. We won't take too much.
Wait.
Okay.
I have to ask, how did you build the TARDIS costume? What is it made out of?
It's actually just going to be a blue dress with the embroidery on it, but I'm pretty sure that people will still get it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That is too cool.
We're excited, and we're expecting a lot of shouts of "Hey, sexy!" So.
That's awesome. And that's what we're going for, right?
Exactly. TARDIS jokes.
Well, you are sexy. This is James from Real Nerds. Ladies, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, real_nerds, and you can see when you will be on our podcast as the very first people from Denver Comic-Con 2012.
I will actually toss you a follow right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, ladies. Have fun.
Thanks. You too. That was fun.
Oh, do you have anything you want to promote while you're here? You have any like Twitter? Sit down. Sorry. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, let's see. A couple of you actually probably follow my Twitter, but
okay.
I have a few friends who run a gaming website. It's called Save Game Online. They do podcasts, reviews, and recently did a special on gaming cocktails, which my friends Tash and Jen and Kim actually all experimented with, made, and it took a few months. They're kind of an up-and-coming thing, but they're amazing, and you should check them out.
Awesome.
Yes.
We will.
I used to write for them, so...
Awesome. That is awesome. So thank you so much for taking time again. Sorry I rushed you off, and I'm glad you had something to promote here.
I do, too, actually.
Okay, go.
Quick. I'm directing a film with Quince & Company. It's going to be a short steampunk western. You can find it on Clayton Nickel Films. It should be done by the end of the summer. So,
awesome.
Yeah, great.
That's awesome. Brad here, our producer, makes movies, too.
Awesome. And she's amazing.
Loki, Natasha, thank you. You ladies are very beautiful.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you too.
Awesome.
That was a really great interview.
It was. We did such a good job with that.
It was
one.
actually really nice of them to go, because they were the first people we talked to, and they were totally cool about, like, yeah, we'll talk on the podcast. It was the first sign where we were like, hey, people are going to actually enjoy this thing we're doing.
I know, and then people were lining up and really wanted to be on the podcast. So thanks everybody at the Denver Comic Con. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Per usual. This week we saw Total Recall. Are you recalling it right now?
No, I've already forgotten it.
Hey, James, should people go see Total Recall?
Dude, absolutely. Like, if you haven't seen the other cool action movies that are out right now, yeah, I guess go see those. But no, you should totally check this movie out. It's really cool.
Surprisingly, I thought it was really cool too. So, because you're always worried.
Yeah. No, I was,
because a movie that definitely didn't need to be remade got remade to be not bad. Laura obviously didn't like it because she's laughing at us right now.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I have never really liked the original Total Recall.
Hey.
Don't think it's a great movie, and I'm fine with the fact that they remade it. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll the trailer.
Yeah, trailer, please.
Are you actually happy with how your life's turned out?
I know this isn't what we had in mind when we were younger, but who gets everything they fantasize about, right?
Hey, what do you know about Recall?
Stay away from them. Don't mess with your mind, man.
You seem like you're looking for something. Is it this? You're gonna wish you had 3 hands.
I'm looking for Recall.
Remember to have a good time.
Tell us your fantasy. We'll give you the memory. What is it? What's wrong? It's all a mistake. Nobody. I went to Recall after work.
What?
And I killed him.
Whatever happened, we're gonna get through it. It's okay.
All right, I can't break it. Come on. You crazy! What are you doing?
My job.
Our marriage.
What can I say? I give good wife.
This is gonna be hard for you to believe. Whatever you think, you remember. It's not real. This person you think You are now. It's all a lie. If I'm not me, then who the hell am I?
Get in. I've been looking for you everywhere.
This is my wife.
You're married?
I think it's safe to say we're separated.
Here, you drive.
Doug! Not really hit. You're still back at recall, strapped to a chair.
He's lying.
Just shoot her.
This is not a delusion.
Kill her, damn it! Shoot! How did he get activated? I want him alive.
Tell me what's going on.
I'm just trying to recover what's in your head.
You're gonna need your seatbelt on!
Hold on.
Man, that Colin Farrell can just slide through anything, can't he?
Oh my god, I know! The action sequences in this movie are amazing!
Yeah, you know, I always thought Len Wiseman was a cool director.
Yeah, I do too.
I never had a problem with anything he's ever done. And
I have problems with some of the things he's done, but
I don't know. I think they're fun.
I think as a writer, he's not the best, but as a director, he's cool.
No, you know what I thought was interesting about Underworld, and we brought it up, is that movie was shot for $23 million. Yeah,
well, and
it looks way more expensive.
Like I said, I love the first Underworld movie. It's the second one where things get weird.
Did he shoot the second one?
Yeah, the second one is directed by Len Wiseman. I specifically remember because I remember an interview where he was talking about what it was like to film the sex scene between his wife and Scott Speedman. Right. Or no, actually, it was an interview with Scott Speedman about what it was like to be in a sex scene with the director's wife.
But that's, you know, in the second one, there's that great action sequence where that old vampire with the huge wings is chasing him on that truck, and I love the camera movements.
And that is, it is pretty good. But that's what I'm saying. I love the way he shoots things. I don't love the stuff he writes. My problem with that movie is what's written.
Anyways, we'll talk about Total Recall now. So, I mean, it follows basically the same premise. I mean, the biggest difference is they don't go to Mars.
And there's a elevator.
Yeah, that you can go from one side of the world to the other. Whatever.
Cool idea.
Yeah, it works.
Like with any Philip K. Dick movie, like they basically pluck out the neat ideas and then just form an action movie around them, which works.
It works.
Really
and
well.
you know, I was shocked when I read that this movie cost $200 million. It looks like it cost $200 million.
Oh yeah, it does.
I mean, there's some scenes in there. Even anytime they showed the colony, and the overall, it looked amazing.
Oh yeah, all kinds of extras and all, you know, details everywhere that are fantastic. And it's one of those things where it's like they could just have lots of wide shots of lots of CG, and that's where the money goes. Mm-hmm. But it's not that. Like he does a lot. He puts the camera in really cool places and shows you things in interesting ways that make it sort of dynamic and make that world feel very real.
Yeah, it kind of has a Blade Runner feel to it.
Oh, he steals from everything in this movie. There's little bits of Mass Effect. There's little bits of Blade Runner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mass Effect. Totally.
Yeah. Oh Dude, yeah. You know, those robots are the Mass Effect robots.
And when he went into the sleazy part of town where there's all those dancers and the neon lights, I'm like, oh, that's where you meet the bounty hunter.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, a lot of that is just classic sci-fi tropes. You know. I don't know what movie was the first movie to presume that in the future everything looks like it's set in China or like industrial China. I don't know if Blade Runner was the first one to do that, but it's not new, but it's also still fun.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool, and it's kind of a pretty hardcore PG-13 movie.
There's 3 boobs in this movie.
It really is.
I did not expect that was going to happen.
I thought she was going to have like a bra on because you saw the
Pasties, maybe.
Yeah, you saw the trailer. And they only shot her from that like neckline above. And you're like, oh man, they're just doing a cheap way out because they want people like, they remember that in the first one.
It always bugged me that was even in the trailer because it's just fan service.
Yeah,
it shouldn't even be in. There's not even really mutants in this movie, so why is there a 3-breasted chick? Well, because it's just an homage to that original movie. But it's crazy you actually see them and they're totally prosthetic, which maybe that's why they get away with it.
Yeah,
because you see them and you're like, oh yeah, that's just a chess piece.
Well, I mean, they got away with it in Titanic, so if I was Len Wiseman and I turned it in, they gave me an R, I'd just hit up Titanic. I'm like, she seriously is sitting there for like 10 minutes without a top on.
Yeah.
And just because
and
it's
this
Titanic,
is like a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Like you can't hardly see anything. You're just like, oh, those are fake, and then it's gone. And then they say the F word once. I was amazed though. I couldn't believe it.
And it was cool that Kate Beckinsale's character, she had the American accent at the beginning, but when she was evil, she turned British.
She is so badass in this movie.
Yeah.
She is maybe the best I've ever seen Kate Beckinsale in an action movie.
Her hair is amazing.
Her hair is amazing.
Like, actually, Sierra and I were talking about it too. She fights and she shoots guns and runs around, and it's never temple.
And it's still got that
like,
little curl.
Perfectly, like, the loose waves. It's awesome. The ombre color.
Yeah, the fight between her and Jessica Biel in the elevator was pretty badass.
Oh, yes, that elevator fight is fantastic. No, there's a lot of people sliding on their knees in this movie, and it's the coolest thing you've ever seen. The fight sequence in their apartment is so cool. Whoever designed that room to be like a series, it's almost like the room itself is multiple steps, and so when they fight from one step to the next, they're on different planes. Oh, it's so cool.
Well, and actually, if you think about every action sequence is like that. Like, they're in the apartment, and there's different levels, but then there's different levels in
the buildings itself.
The elevator,
yeah.
It's awesome.
I know Len Wiseman is such a fan of the camera flare now too.
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna bring up if you're somebody who doesn't like J.J. Abrams for flares, Len Wiseman uses way too many flares and doesn't quite know how to use them. But they're some of them looked cool, but early on,
actually I liked when they were entangled in things. It kind of had the graph kind of look to them.
Yeah. I did like when there was there'd be a series of lights, and so it would almost be a bar of light. Those were kind of cool, but early on there was way too many. Yeah.
Was that your biggest problem with the movie? Did you have a lot of problems with the movie at all?
Honestly, not really. There are a few scenes that I think, like the scene when the friend shows back up again and is trying to convince him this is all a dream. Mm-hmm. That scene is kind of languid. It just goes on a little bit too long.
Yeah, but I still thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was kind of intense.
Oh yeah. It is. There's sort of this long question of well, maybe, even
though you kind of know how it's going to end.
The movie is not very ambiguous, but that is the one scene where you're okay. The truth is, I don't know that any of this is real.
Yeah, until they ruined it at the end when he says "kill her" and he's yelling at him, and you're dude, obviously he's been sent there and
but I was gonna say that the shot right before there are two shots in this movie that I love, and one of them is right before that elevator sequence when Kate Beckinsale is running at the camera and the doors of the elevator are closing, and she starts sliding on her knees to try and get in the door before it closes, and it doesn't, and she slides over the top. The camera just pans up and she slides over the top of the elevator and into the elevator, and you're oh, it's so cool, because it feels they've gotten away for this 1 second, and no they didn't. And then the other one is just there is this. It's in the sequence after he finds out that she's bad, and they fight in their apartment, and he starts running away. And there's this wide pullback shot. It looks like a video game where there's just these little house pods, sort of, on different levels. Again, sort of like a series of stairs. Mm-hmm. And we see him over here running through some obstacles and trying to get away, and her over here trying to catch up to him. And that shot is just so cool. I don't know how they did it. I know it's all CG, but I don't know what stuff is practical and what stuff is all just green screen. But
I watched Spoilers with Kevin Smith this week, and he had Len Wiseman on there, and Kevin was talking about how he says, all right, you two are talking, there's my camera, but he said how Len would really map out where the camera's moving, what this camera's doing. He'd have 3 or 4 cameras going at the same time. So yeah, you can see that. I mean, he has things where the camera's moving, and
he gets some amazing shots.
He does,
and it's cool because the thing that excited me about that trailer, where there would just be little snippets of like that scene in their apartment where they're fighting, and I was there's something cool about the way he's shooting that. There's something cool about where he's got the camera, and it was getting me excited, and it totally delivers. I mean, there's some little corny stuff, and there's some things that are traditional action movie moments. There's,
like why he didn't kill Jessica Biel when he took her. I mean, why is he keeping her alive?
Yeah. Why do they keep Jessica Biel alive? Why in the scene where they're going to give him his dreams back? How come everybody important leaves and is just hey, how about we let these guards take this guy out? Like there are moments like that, but it's like, okay, I have to forgive that because I've forgiven so many other movies of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just stands out in this one a little bit more because it feels so deliberate. They don't have a good excuse for it. But man, I can't believe how excited, how much fun I was having.
Yeah, it was just a fun movie. I mean, and I think you're right. I think the coolest person, I think Kate Beckinsale was the best part of the movie. I mean, Colin Farrell was cool, but I mean, it's kind of cool seeing Kate Beckinsale being badass.
She's so, yeah. I mean, honestly, between the two villains, the other one being Bryan Cranston, I was way more impressed with her.
Well, yeah, because Bryan Cranston, I mean, he was just giving the guys like, "Hey, I'm the bad guy. This is what I'm gonna do." Wah!
Yeah, he wasn't given much. And then the fact that he actually has a fight sequence at the end is
and that he's badass.
Corny. yeah. When all of a sudden he's like fighting with a knife, I'm like, no. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's the only part. Actually, one of the few parts of the movie where it stretched credibility for me because at the beginning you have Colin Farrell literally take out 10 armed dudes.
Yeah,
and then he just can't take out one old guy.
Come on. Absolutely. No, I agree. And because they didn't kill him in the cool enough way. Like, you have a giant earth bullet. You have to have somebody fall to their death on the giant earth bullet. You know?
Yeah.
No, you can't just stab him and then leave him there. There had to be a Wile E. Coyote moment where you drop the giant bullet and Bryan Cranston just sort of stays there for a second and then drops. Like, that needed to happen.
So the bullet falls faster than him, so he's like suspended in air.
It's pulled by magnets through the earth. Yeah.
No, it's not a thought bubble, honey. Wile E. Coyote holds up a sign.
Yeah.
This
is true.
This chick, I might divorce her.
No.
Actually, like, speaking of reaction, I loved that there was like 2 hot, badass chicks in this movie.
Yeah. And they kick each other's ass.
Yeah, a lot of times, like, my favorite example is when we saw Salt with Angelina Jolie, and she was so skinny that I was like, I don't believe you can kick ass.
Yeah.
But in this movie, they were like, if you look at Jessica Biel's arms, like...
Oh, yeah, totally her arms. I was looking at
like,
those.
She was curvy and buff, and it was awesome.
Jessica Biel has arms?
Totally. No, but, even that... because it was cool, too, when... you're talking about the chicks kicking ass when when she turns, you find out. Well, you knew Kate Beckinsale was going to be bad. But,
yeah.
And she says, "I haven't even tried to kill you yet." And she does that like flip over and starts kicking his ass. Like,
that's real. That line was cool in the trailer. When she delivers it in the movie, it's way cooler.
Yeah.
Oh man, because she delivers on that. Like her character delivers on that because then the next section of that fight sequence is even more intense.
I think it's always cool too when they don't make women like weaklings. You know, because he could. A lot of movies sometimes they easily overpower him or something. This one, no, she was kicking his ass, and he had to run away from her.
And even though Jessica Biel, in a lot of ways is still just that like romantic interest character, there are plenty of times where she saves his life or shows up with a giant jet and shoots things, and when she first shows up, she does that cool like I'm gonna point my gun out the window and blow this car up with my gun sequence, which is great.
I love her.
Oh man,
I have a little bit of a girl crush on her. I love her.
Awesome. I don't think she's the best actress, but she is good enough.
She's good enough and she's hot enough that it's a good.
Yeah, I can forgive.
She's good enough. She's hot enough, and gosh darn it, people like her. Anybody? Saturday Night Live, early '90s? No, just me.
No.
Yep.
Once John Belushi died, I was done.
Yeah. Were you alive when John Belushi died?
No, but I had parents who showed me lots of old SNL. Anyways,
yeah. So go see Total Recall. It's
absolutely
surprising. I've been surprised with some movies this year. Battleship's one of them. Total Recall's another one.
Oh my God, Battleship! This is better than Battleship.
Yeah,
I have to say,
by far.
Like, I started in a theater. I have to say my one grievance for this movie. And so they go to this place where there's, you assume it's a nuclear fallout because they can't live there.
Yeah. There's all that. Yeah.
So everyone has a gas mask on, and they have like this like.
Gas masks that look like Sub-Zero's mask. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They have like a sealed building. They have to go in and get depressurized and stuff.
Yeah.
But then when shit goes down and bad guys come in, they break all the windows and no one has a gas mask on, and it's cool. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, Laura, I think you're forgetting the part that they're inside of a building. They
break the window.
Yeah, but not from the outside.
There was gas. There was gas coming in those windows.
Yes.
There was gas coming in.
Beckinsale walks in, no gas mask. She's totally cool.
But it wasn't like the outside; it was pressurized, and so when you break the glass, like fumes are just gonna start flooding in like smoke. Like it's gonna take a while to diffuse in and out. Nobody was running a ceiling fan. Like it was gonna be okay.
I don't know. It bugged me.
Also, you can't put a mask on Kate Beckinsale because then she's less pretty.
Yeah.
Her hair though. Is so
You're right. You're right. But it did bug me. But I know for a fact that they pumped smoke in so that like when those guys would walk in, their feet and stuff were bringing little bits of orange smoke in with them. So they were addressing that issue. They just didn't need.
Sometimes
the room
people
to be
take away so
with.
much fun from movies.
I mean, it could have added something cool to that action sequence if, like, all of a sudden there was smoke, this orange smoke coming along the ground, and they had to, we gotta get masks on really quick. But,
Well, and then too, like, I mean, like they give you the impression if they're riding that subway that it's just a few hours or whatever from the city.
Yeah.
Like, pollution is almost like pee in a pool. Is that even if like you're not next to the kid who's peeing, you're still standing in his pee, like a little while away. So like even like having gas
maybe
masks
there's a
is
force
serious.
field around the city.
Yeah. Well, but if they could the truth is, when Mick and RJ and I were talking about this in the car, it's like, okay, if you can create a train that goes through the earth, how come you can't create a giant dome and pump all the bad smoke out of the dome?
Or just like a giant negative pressure.
But
maybe they did do that, and it was only in London, and they haven't had up to.
You're right.
See, I don't let stuff.
If you're gonna,
part that took me out of it. The
yeah,
rest of it, like,
I got you.
He's moving, the action's very cool, but that part I was like, what the fuck?
See, stuff like that never takes me out of.
If
movies.
you're gonna get nitpicky, though, how about this? They have this underground train, right? It goes from Europe to Australia, and in order for those two things to line up, they have to have it exit pretty much in the center of Australia. Now, when they do a wide shot of the colony, there's a bay, like they're in Sydney or something, and I was like, whoa. Yeah. But I don't give a shit.
Yeah, see, I don't care about shit like that. Like, my friend Brandon is trying to tell me how he couldn't wrap his head around Iron Man, because how could Tony Stark build a suit of iron in that cave? I'm like, really, dude? It's a comic book movie.
I don't know. He's got crazy Saudi Arabian technology with him. I don't know.
Like, it almost sucks in a way, because having, like, a science background, like, I can't help but think about stuff like that, like, in every case. So it ruins movies for me when it really, and books and things. Like, I don't like fantasy. I don't like science fiction, because I'm like,
you know what?
Impossible, can't happen.
You know, I'm in the restaurant industry, and Steven Seagal being a chef in Under Siege did not ruin Under Siege for me.
Well, I could.
No, but every restaurant I go to with you, you're always picky, like, oh, they should be doing that differently.
Well, I could fall back on the joke I made last week about how the watch is inaccurate to the way that a Costco is run. But what I will actually say, I'll give you the answer that I've given everyone every time they complain about this, which is that where you have problems with when there's science in movies, I was trained as a writer, and every movie has writing in it. So every movie is like that for me. So every time that there's a thing where they're like, oh, you fell back on that old trope, that bugs me and pulls me out of movies. So you get no sympathy from me.
Well, and this movie actually wasn't that bad because they didn't like try to explain anything.
Oh, absolutely.
The movies, like, I think my favorite example is Splice, where
Yeah.
they sort of explain things and they just fuck them up.
Yeah.
Like, they use real actual science and then just like, no, it doesn't work that way. Like, that's what I have a problem with this movie. That particular part, I was like, you shouldn't be thinking right now.
Cool story, Laura.
And the best Philip K. Dick movies are the ones where they just they take the cool ideas out of a Philip K. Dick story and then, you know, make an action movie around them. You know,
Yeah,
even Paycheck, man. Paycheck is not a great movie. It's
I
not,
love Ben Affleck.
but it's pretty dang fun.
You know what would be awesome if I was thinking this when every time I see the Argo trailer, if it says, you know, it says from the director of The Town, and I would every time I said I wanted to say from the director of The Town and the star of Phantoms. Dude, if Ben Affleck was still as cool as he used to be, that would be awesome.
Yeah, no, he should totally do that. I'm always surprised that it says from the director of The Town and not from the director of Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah,
because I think anybody who's seen those two movies would be more impressed by Gone Baby Gone.
Anyways, you can follow us on Twitter, real_nerds. You can email us directly, realnerds@gmail.com. Hey, visit our website. You can check out James' awesome article, realnerdspodcast.com. You can also go to realnerds.tumblr.com. It'll take you to the same site. You can call us 720-6nerds5. You can like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. Next week, we're seeing The Bourne Legacy, which is kind of the same movie, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Except it's not sci-fi-y. And I'll probably see the campaign,
you say that. Or hold your tongue on that. There might be some sci-fi in that movie.
Well, I guess at the end of the ultimatum where you kind of find out where he's from is kind of
sci-fi. And in the trailer they're talking about weird genetic stuff and putting chemicals in him. I'm just saying.
See it for that reason.
Good. I'd rather go see it by myself. You ruin movies for me.
It's because she's always talking through them, man.
I know, right? Anyways, till next week. Bye.
Bye.
I'm Brad. I don't see anything.
Batman.
You do realize your Brad voice is like the same as like Gremlin Cat voice.
Is it? I'm just trying to make Brad really. It's going to be really hard for him to edit this. He's going to have to keep listening to this crap. He's like, oh, fuck you guys. It's probably what he does when he's.
I've been editing for 48 hours for the 48 hour film festival.
I've done the 48 hours, so now I have to edit this fucking shit. You fucking dickheads. I'm gonna get you back one day if you ever learn how to edit. Fuck you, Brad.
Yeah. He's gonna just not edit the show and tack it on at the end of next week.
Yeah, totally. That'd be awesome.
What a dick. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, I hope he wins.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyways. Nebulous Visions Multimedia.
He'll throw this in after the end of music.